Am I sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're gonna see subject pronouns. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. We are still at A1 level. And we're going to see basically, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see, understand the function of the French subject pronoun. Basically, when we talk about function, we talk about it as being the subject in the sentence. Sometimes it could be used in a different way, like what we call the COD, complément d'objet direct, which comes after the verb. Sometimes not. I want you to understand and learn the correct use of each pronoun, which means, as I said, if it's singular, we employ it as a singular pronoun. If it's plural, same thing. You know, it's you have to use it when we're talking about a group of people and not just one person. The other thing is these pronouns differently from English. We have the masculine of they and the feminine of they. You know, we still got he and she in English, but when it comes to the plural, they is used for both masculine and feminine. When in French, it's il, elle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to also recognize when to use on instead of nous, which is a thing that a lot of people don't know. Actually, we always like a glimpse of it is that, for example, when you go into academic studies or when you do your report as an accountant or something like that in French, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if it comes to that,
Mm-hmm.
you will never use on. It is kind of prohibited and frowned upon to use on in academic of professional settings. We always use nous, especially when writing, whether it's a report, an email, anything professional this cannot be used.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna practice through examples and exercises. Uh, and this is going to be a fast pace, but I will stop to ask you questions. Next up, after this lesson, we're going to see the negative form
Mm-hmm. Okay.
of in French.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this is not going to be hard on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are subject pronouns? Subject pronouns basically they replace a noun to indicate who's doing the action. So if you say Lamia is cooking dinner, you're gonna replace it in English first. Lamia is cooking dinner is gonna be she is cooking. So it's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
in French. Lamia est en train de cuisiner
Mm-hmm.
le dîner.
Mm-hmm.
Elle est en train de cuisiner le dîner. See, it does replace the subject. They are
Mm-hmm.
essential in forming sentences because when you are writing a text, you don't want any repetition. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, when you want everything to flow, you are obliged or not obliged, like you must use the subject pronouns. They are
Mm-hmm.
used with verbs and they affect verb conjugation. As we've seen in when we were doing the sample, présent simple,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the tense of present, when we studied it,
Mm-hmm.
we saw that the verbs behave differently when it comes to saying je, tu, il, elle, and so on, nous, vous, il, elle, with us. The termination, the stem stays the same, of course, but in order to get the conjugation, you need to add things, and these things differ according to the subject pronouns. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, singular pronouns. I'm going to go through this because I know you already know what's je, you know, I just wanted to point them out to make sure. Of course, I am going to ask you to write this because some of the things that are over here, we didn't discuss it in depth.
Yeah.
Okay? So, je, I. It's used when speaking about oneself, about yourself, you know. To you is informal, is the informal form of you, because
Mm,
when you say in English, when you are talking politely and you say you, if ever,
mhm,
you know, it's gonna be
mhm,
formal because you mean you, uh, by you mean, let me show you, you mean vous. You see, this one
mhm.
is the formal form.
Okay.
But you over here means when you're talking to a friend, you know.
Mhm, mhm,
Anyway, it's used with friends. In French, too, is used with friends, family, and people your age. What you have to remember is that maybe we're not that polite in English,
mhm,
but in French, when sometimes I can remember when I came back from Canada to Morocco to do a master's degree, and I was at the director office, and I told
mhm,
him to, you know, he
mhm,
completely, his face switched. He completely told
mhm,
me, here we don't say tu, we say vous, okay?
mhm,
Because
mhm,
Parnis, what you don't know is that in Quebec,
mhm.
we don't use the formal form.
Oh,
Everybody is tu, even your boss. That's the
oh,
thing.
okay.
In Quebec,
Yeah.
that's what's different from the French of Quebec and the French of France,
Mhm,
which is how they talk here in Morocco or somewhere else. See what I mean?
mhm. Yeah.
So just get this. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just
Did you
saying
wanted
that
to ask some?
so in Canada
Hmm.
they don't use vous, they
No,
use you.
they would use it very rarely in a setting
Okay.
where, let's say, something very prestigious, kind of
Okay.
like a
Okay.
gala, something like that. But
Okay.
no, it's not used in like politeness. Like for example, do you know that at work I have no idea for where you are staying in Canada. Is it like
Mhm.
very hierarchy? Is there a hierarchy at work? Kind of you have to respect your boss because he's the boss and stuff like that? Is
No,
it the
I just
case
talked to him like
where you
no.
work or not?
We usually just talk normally, like how I talk with my friends,
Okay.
like same way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So basically it's the same thing in Quebec. Yeah, same thing in Quebec, but if you go to France, if you go to Morocco, basically the places, Algeria, places that have been colonized by the French back in the days in history, you will
Mhm.
never use to with people that you don't know or your boss. Never. It's always gonna be vous. It's always gonna be Monsieur, Madame, Mr., Mrs.
Mhm.
It's never
Mhm.
going to be, two. There is a hierarchy. That's
Mhm.
why when you encounter French people from France, I
Mhm.
urge you to not say two before you know them really
Okay.
good. Yeah, just remember
Okay.
that point because also there are some places if you go to La Réunion, there are some places mostly if you know that they have been colonized by French people, know
Mhm.
that it's the French of France, and we do not use to. We use
Mhm.
to. Sorry, we use to when you know the person,
Mhm.
when it's really family, friends, people your age. Bien sûr,
Mhm.
like people your age, you won't go and say vous, especially if you guys met outside in a party or anything.
Mhm.
May politely, like the way of doing it is
Mhm.
because I'm giving you like both of them. Because
Mhm.
normally in Quebec, I
Mhm.
was shocked in the beginning when they
Mhm.
were saying two and they don't know me. I was
Mhm.
a bit shocked because I came from a French of France.
Mhm.
So yeah, but in Quebec, yeah, two is used. Okay.
Okay.
So here il, it's he, as you know. Elle is she. So
Mhm.
used for people or objects with gender. So If I were to talk about Parnit, I would say elle suit un cours de français. Okay, so let me just give you an example over here. Elle suit un cours de français. Let me check if I have it over here. Oh, français. So basically, you're having a class of French, a course, not a course, like a class mostly. So you see, if I were to talk about Donald Trump, il est à la présidentielle. So il est le président. Let's say he's the president. Président des États-Unis. Sorry. États-Unis, and États-Unis takes an accent over here. I don't know if it's gonna help me to do it. Where is this accent? No. Okay, let's leave it like that. And I'll put the accent myself. So see, gender is very important. So, okay, we get to en. So en could mean one, like as one, or it could mean we. Can mean one, like one can only wonder. See what I mean? On peut juste, let me just put it and give you one can only wonder, for example. And I would translate it into on peut juste penser. Cela. Cela would mean this thing, maybe.
Yep.
About this thing. So yeah, it could mean that. It could mean we in general, in casual speaking. Most of the time it's gonna be one can only wonder, like expressions. But in casually speaking to someone, when you casually speak and talk about a story, about something you have done with other people, on est sorti hier, en soirée, which means we went to a party yesterday. So if you notice, yesterday comes before en soirée, but in English, we went to a party yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday. Just don't switch them. Party is soirée, et hier is yesterday. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait for you to take this part on paper.
Okay.
We're gonna move to the rest of them.